back to Student Connection. We're picking back up with our series, Parenting Through the Proverbs. Today I got to sit down with a friend of mine named Blaire Butler, and I'm going to let her introduce herself and what she does. But we sit down and look at the aspect of hard work and how to instill that in our kids and how that comes from Scripture. So I hope you enjoy. All right, Blaire, thank you for getting on here with me today. Everybody, this is my friend Blaire Butler, and I'm gonna let her introduce herself and kind of tell you where she's from and what she does and all that stuff. Go ahead, Blaire.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, Don. So I'm Blaire Butler. I currently live at Chaco Springs in Talladega, Alabama, with my husband, and we have a 4-year-old and an almost 2-year-old. And I'm a program director here at Chaco, and so we're a camping conference center here right outside of Birmingham, and we host and partner with churches throughout and nonprofits and schools to put on their different events. And so part of my role is overseeing summer staff. And so we hire about 40 college-age students to come live and work here in the summer and become a part of our Chaco family and our staff and community. And then I met Don through working through Camp Happy Days, a camp we put on with for kids in foster care, and then do different programs throughout the year, just support our staff.
All right. And as far as summer staff goes, y'all are still accepting.
Yes, we are definitely, we are like the rest of America looking, we are still hiring. We are looking for preferably going into senior year of high school or graduates and college age staff to come and become a part of the ministry God's doing here. We'll see over 20,000 people here this summer at Chaco. And so we need hands, we need feet, we need willing hearts to serve. And so we're looking for those staff to come and join us, and they'll get to be able to serve the food, clean the rooms, be a lifeguard out at the pool or at the lake, cut the grass. We're kind of, one of our mottos is being a Christ-centered gathering place, and we want to be a distraction-free as much as possible. And so our staff do our job so that we can make it distraction-free, so people can come to know Jesus or grow in their relationship with him while they're here and as a community. So yeah, if you want a job, call me.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I've already told Blaire I'm gonna send my kids there when they get old enough. And,
yes.
So anyway, well, today I wanted to talk to you, and it kind of and what got me thinking about this and why I've asked Blaire to do this is because of that role with summer staff, but also in Blaire's past roles with other organizations and how she's seen how this fits in, but looking at the importance of pouring in the idea of hard work into our kids. And and Blaire just said she's got a 4-year-old and almost 2-year-old, so they're still younger, but there's still things, as far as, hey, cleaning up your room and things like this that can be poured into those that young, but also because and Blaire talked about this, but didn't really, it's kind of hard to really understand it until you see it, but like her and her family, they're invested in these summer staff, in these college kids. Just like another set of parents to these kids in the summer. So it's really, it takes a lot out of them, and they put their lives into it. So kicking off, how have you seen the importance of, or talk a little bit about that, how you've seen that work out, maybe in summer staff or maybe in other areas you've seen, whether it's different organizations or what?
Seeing hard work?
Yeah, have you seen have you seen the need or the importance of it? Like maybe you've had summer staff that are hard workers, they're go-getters, you don't have to push them, and then there's some that just need a little encouragement. Kind of talk about that for a minute.
We've definitely seen everything. I think as I used to work for Student Life, as kind of almost, and I did a lot of the hiring and stuff there. And it was definitely always rough when parents would call to set up their kids' interviews. And I'm like, no, you're not applying for this job. Your child is. And so I think it kind of stems from numerous different things. But yeah, hard work. Definitely there's those kids that want to work because it's fun, because it's what they're supposed to do, because they feel called to do it, and they just have that drive in them. And I think that does come from their parents, a lot of that, and then obviously from the Lord. But for us, like just even personally, like I know you said start it, like I have written down here, start it young. Like we bring Jack and Avery to these things. They see us working. We tell them, hey, we're going to work. We're going to go serve God. You know, like, yeah, they have things that they have to do. They're part of our household. Like you said, clean your room, feed the dogs, you know, all that kind of stuff. But I think that's so important. And then I want for us too, for these summer stuff, like they see us working hard. Like they see us, I have people coming into my office. It's Casey. I'm on a podcast. You want to come say hi to Dawn? Welcome.
Talk about hard work. There's the man right there.
What up?
What's
up, Don?
Oh my goodness. He's our rec director. He does do a lot of hard work. Okay.
I just assumed you were interviewing. That's what you do these days.
I do. See, I'm interviewing. So if you need a job, you need someone to do a job. Don't really know where I was with that. But
just incorporating your family into the hard work.
Yes, no, definitely. Yeah. So they see the importance of it. And you know, we could be many other places making a whole lot much more money and have different toys and different things, but our heart is here, and this is where God has called us to be, and they see that. And the summer staff see that and are encouraged by that as well. I kind of say I have 2 biological children, and then I become a mom to around like 45 more in the summer. But I have like this contract that like working with summer staff, and this is not mine personally, I can't take credit for it. I've kind of edited a little bit. We partner with a camp in Ecuador, Hacienda El Refugio. And when they kind of go through this contract with their mission teams that they bring. And one of the things is being present. Like, so my summer staff, I'm like, hey guys, when we're here, when we're at work, when we're at Shaco in this program and this time, we have to be present. Like, you know, going back to Matthew 6, 25, 34, like not worrying about what's next. I mean, a lot of these kids are either going to college, they're figuring out what they're doing, what they're, you know, called to do. They're dealing with they're living on our campus. They're sometimes the first time ever job, you know, dealing with roommates and activities and time management and all that stuff. But I'm like, hey, we need to be present. Like you need to be present and be here working, be on time to work, be working and being there, but like not just that, but being present and involved and spiritually and mentally and emotionally as well. This one, number 2, give 110%, not 100%, 110%. You know, and that's through Colossians 3:23 through 24. Whatever you do it from the heart as something done for the Lord and not for people, knowing that you will receive the reward of an inheritance from the Lord. You serve the Lord Christ. And so we tell our staff here and like our kids, like, you're not working for me. You're not working for Shaco. You're working for Jesus. And so when you serve those chicken fingers on the line, act like you're serving them for Jesus. Like, is it the best you can do? Give 110%. And some kids just get it. Some kids are on it and they get it, and some aren't. And you have to kind of continue working through that vision of the why. You know, we go back to the why this is. But sometimes you just got to say, you got to do it. You got to do it. Some fake it till you make it sometimes, and you got to do it. And then also 1 Corinthians 10:31. So whether you eat or drink or whatever you do everything for the glory of God. And it's not about us. It's not about getting a pat on the back or, you know, the paycheck or anything like that. Like it's for God's glory. And so that people would come to know him. I changed this one. Theirs is a little different. I changed this one to be flexible. We live at Camp World. Things change all the time. Don is used to that. And so, you know, like in Philippians 4:10 through 14, being content in whatever circumstances God is that you're in right now. And, you know, working hard through that and just adapting to that. Because obviously, I mean, you saw that. I have people coming in out of my office all the time, and just got to roll with the punches sometimes. Right now, we're renovating Bagley second floor. And they're currently like scraping all the carpet off and cement and like grinding it. And yesterday we were selling tickets for some of our camps, and our guest relations department is on the first floor, and like you couldn't hear anything because all it was like the whole time. And so they had to move down here and just, you know, just that consistent, but not letting that fluster you, not letting that like, okay, God, like help me get through this, help me make decisions, you know, work hard through that. And then the last is choose joy, like in all of this opportunities, like choose joy, be joyful and hope, whatever your circumstances. And so I asked my summer staff and myself, I'm not just like telling this them, but like our students, our staff, to sign this contract and to be present, give 110%, be flexible, choose joy. And that they would. So it's not that I'm just looking for hard workers, but I'm looking for present workers, giving it their all, being flexible, and like they're choosing joy through that. And if they work hard though, like they're going to be able to do those things.
Yeah. And I can remember, like, I would love to say when I'd always been the hardest worker. I can remember having great influencers in my life in high school that I guess kept me from being on the other end of the spectrum. But as far as coaches and just people that either Sunday school teachers, people like that, and that I was around, that just pushed me to be better. But for me, it really didn't click till I got into college and somewhat on my own. I could still, if I needed, I lived an hour from home. So if I needed to come back, mom and dad were still there. But I remember having a job one summer, and I was there, got there at 7:30 in the morning, left at 4:30 in the afternoon, and we were outside working all day, doing all kind of stuff. And there was a lot of flexibility with it. But at the same time, it really showed me the appreciation of work. And I'm grateful for that. And
I have a similar scenario where I just remember like growing up, like my sister and I, like we would have to work. My dad is agronomist. He works with farmers, and he would have to do all these like seed kits. And so we'd be out there shoveling the dirt with him, making his packets for him, working around the house. But like and even through the church, like we started serving in through the church when we were, my sister and I were Sunday school teachers when we were like in 10th grade, and that's what we did. And we wanted to serve and give back. So I think if you get them, you start kids young, like we kind of talked about that, and wherever you are in your parenting journey, like start now. Like it's never going to be too late, as long as they involve them, show them the importance of giving back to the community and to others, but obviously for the Lord. And I think that also instilled hard work, like working hard, like in me, because I saw my parents do it and I saw that they valued it, and then encouraged us to do that as well.
Yeah. And it's one of those, like you said, you start early. I think it's huge, and then modeling that for them, because there's going to come a time in our lives where something just clicks, where, and it doesn't matter what job you have, and I think what you touched on a while ago is part of that little contract deal with being content. That's what I was actually talking with a former student just the other day about contentment. He's one of the hardest working people I know. And the Lord, anytime he has looked for a job, the Lord has opened up a door and blessed him with it. And I think it's because he's faithful to do what he's been asked to do. But he was talking to me about he wants to be closer to home as far as a work schedule goes. And he said, I've been praying about it. And I said, man, from personal experience, and I gave him some scripture. I said, but personal experience, learning to be content where the Lord has you. I said, that's when you're like, he was going to work through you. And I said, that's when he continues to open doors. And so I got a text from him. It was either last night or this morning. I have to go back and look. I've just said, hey, this is what I'm at. I said, it was really encouraging. I'm like, awesome, great. Because ultimately it does come from the Lord. We see it modeled. You just talked about working hard and seeing with your dad and helping him. And coming from a family, we had a family-owned business. I can run it. I remember running it from our house at some point. So I understand that and get it. And as a being in it, sometimes didn't appreciate it as much, but being on this side of it, like really understand the hard work and the sacrifice and the love that was there in it, gives me a better appreciation for it, and wants to put that into my kids. And so and that's a part of it. Because, and like you've touched on it, some people are wired for this. Some people, like, I don't know where it comes from, but they're ready to go. And then some people just need that encouragement. And then sometimes,
when I wrote down, like, hard work takes sacrifice, but like look at the rewards. Like in Proverbs 12:11, it says the one who works his land will have plenty of food, but whoever chases
Mm.
fantasies lacks sense. Okay, well, he's going to be able to eat because but like satisfaction, fulfillment, honor, respect, like when you work hard, those are some of those benefits of getting that. And I think, unfortunately, some of this generation, I'm experiencing it now, been experiencing the past couple of years, is they wait. They're kind of in a waiting culture. Like they don't want to commit to something until because they're waiting to see if something better comes along.
Yeah.
And I think that is all connected to the hard work, the commitment. I mean, I think you see that through, like we said, modeling through parents. I think that's, if you start something, you finish something, kind of those kind of things. Obviously being in content or being in close relationship with the Lord and like hearing like what he's leading you and in that accountability and those small groups and the serving him. But it is hard. I mean, and one of my slogans for the summer staff stuff is it's the hardest job you'll ever love. Like, I mean, it's tiring. You're working 40, 50, 60 hours a week. You're running to the dining hall to grab, soggy chicken fingers at times because it's late and whatever, or, you're cleaning the 10th toilet that day, and it's hard, but like, you can't lose sight. And then you see those kids and you hear those stories of this kid came to know Christ, like at camp. And it's because you were there. You prepared that in advance. Like God used that. Or we have heard a story here that a kid, they started crying when they got to the room, and the chaperone was like, "What's wrong?" Like what? And they said, "Well, this is the first time I've been back in a bed since last year at camp." Like you just have no idea where these kids are going through, and adults and anybody. And so just realizing your work matters, like, and God's made us to work, go back to Genesis, and he made us to work. And it's so not in me to not be all in. Like, I don't understand it. Like that's maybe not have as much grace sometimes. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, you just don't care. Like, I'm like, no, like it's all in. But like, but I'm a super gracious person, but I don't get it. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
Like,
And it doesn't register. Yeah. I'm there.
And I know you're not. It's good. That's my life. Don and my husband Nick are very similar. So it's like
we are ministers of compassion, Nick Nick Butler and I.
Yes.
And so
not. But so yeah, I just think it's something that you have to just, I mean, it's kind of cliche, but just keep working at it. Like, I mean, you gotta keep doing it day after day, and I also say work smarter, not harder. Like, but I mean, work hard, but I mean, use your brain too. Like, I mean, God has given us those things. Like, it may be smarter to roll all the water bottles on top of a cooler instead of carrying them up 5 flights of stairs. Like there's just some things you gotta work through and experience. And that's also is you gotta experience it. And if you can't, you don't ever sign up to go do something, go on a mission trip, serve at church, start working as a job or get your kids working, like they're not going to experience it. And that everything to be handed to them.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And that kind of brings up something else. I was just thinking through, I can remember I got to take Dr. Richard Ross for a class in seminary, and he brought this up, and I remember him saying he didn't have any solid research to back this up, but it's just from his observations. But it stuck with me. I remember it. And Dr. Ross is of an older generation, but he said after, you can go back and look, and after World War II, and I mean, before that, you can go through the Great Depression, parents that went through the Great Depression, and then they go through World War II. And after that, that's when you see a generation that parents want to make sure their kids have everything and more than they need. And they want to do whatever they can to make sure that that's there. And that's a great idea. And so I can say, and when he said that, it caused me to think, well, I was blessed. I had a grandfather that wanted to do that for my dad, for our family, and was able to do that to a certain degree. And then my dad, that's all he ever knew. So he wanted to do that for us. But there were some parts of it along the way that, yeah, hard work was poured into. It was modeled for us. We got to see it. But it was for that reason of being able to provide and to give us more than we need. And Dr. Ross brought that up because this has been 15 years ago when I heard him say this, if not longer, that we are in a culture that is shifted that way to where there's some expectancy with that. We grew up and and like we were talking before, have how I can say I had expectancy of, well, I deserve this, or I need this, or I expect this, because it's always been in front of me. And it wasn't until I was in college that it clicked about hard work and working towards something, and those experiences like you're talking about. How, I was grown before I had to figure out how to do taxes or anything like that. I mean, it's not just going out and doing manual labor, but actually working through stuff, and not just having experiences of vacations and glamorous things like that, but experiences of like normal stuff of, and that's what I challenge some of our students here, and even tell parents, and I've told our deacons this, I want them to be a complete person when they leave. And if that means, hey, they not only they know how to study the Bible, but they know how to check their oil in their car or balance.
And be able to problem solve. Like, I feel like that is something like, and I as a parent of young kids, like, this is something I'm obviously walking through and experience, like teaching Jack, he's going to be 5 in July, like how to problem solve some certain situations, even as a 5-year-old. Like, okay, your sister's not sharing with you and not doing this, or taking your fire truck and hitting it on your head, whatever. How can we fix this situation so it doesn't happen right now? You want to play with your fire truck? Okay, let's go to the other room where she can't go, problem solve, and have him, because I do think that we've given them, and out of the good in our heart.
I think it's great intentions behind it here.
Yes, we want to provide our children with everything. We don't want them to go without and everything, but we're taking away that ability to figure it out on your own, or not like we don't want to let them struggle for 5 hours, but hey, it's okay for the first 30 minutes. Let's figure this out. Let's talk through this. How can we make this work? Because I feel like that is something that we have stopped doing, and so then they just expect it. And even me, like with this summer staff program, this will be my 5th or 6th summer leading this program. I was giving in to the culture of, well, they want this and they can handle it. They're adults, and I want to make sure they have everything they need. I want to pay them more, and they're already getting meals and programming and merchandise and lodging and all this stuff and this experience, but I need to give them more because they need listen, we pay really well compared to other camps. We pay like some of the
if you need somebody just to speak into your life that they don't need more, just call me.
Yeah. But I was realized this year, the Lord just really opened my eyes, and I was like, that's not what they need right now. They need, we need a little bit more tough love in some certain areas, and we need some more like, this is the program. This is what you signed up for. If you aren't going to fulfill this contract, fulfill this job description, like, okay, move on. Like, sometimes you have to have those tough life lessons and problem solving to start, just continue becoming that whole person, like you said. And so I think, we can't do this on our own. Like, as parents, we can't do this on our own. Like, I need people like Don and Mary Martha in my kids' lives. I need our Shaco family here, and obviously some of my grandparents and different things like that, but we need the church. Like, we need our small group parents to, encourage us and help our kids. And so you can't do it alone. And obviously God's involved, but there's other people as well. And so if you're not in a small group, I know this is not like what this is about, whatever, but if you're not in accountability, like, I can't encourage you enough. You've got to get it, because that's what God, it's how He demonstrated it in the Bible, and we need it. Because this parenting is hard. It's not easy. It's a marathon too. It's not a sprint. I have to remind myself of that a lot. And I'm a runner, so I don't do no marathons. I'm a half marathon person, not a full.
No, I just don't run.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway, well, I appreciate you getting on here. So if you could give like one piece of advice, whether it's from parenting your own children or what you've seen in whether it's summer staff or staff of student life or whatever, who you've been involved with, what would it be? If you can, one last thing.
Holy, ending on a strong note here. Did not prepare for that one. Oh goodness gracious, Donald. I think I just kind of said it. Like, you need community. You need people. Obviously you need a communion with the Lord, and you need time. And I think as a young mom, this is something I'm finally like coming to understand. Like, if I don't take care of myself spiritually and physically, emotionally, mentally, like I can't take care of my family well. And so, or do my job well, like, so I have to carve out that time of, hey, I need this 30 minutes by myself early in the morning, as much as I hate it, like hitting snow, I would rather be sleeping, like to spend time in the presence of the Lord and to be in those accountability relationships, because you can't give what you don't have. And
That's
so,
right.
like that's something that I'm by no means have I figured it out. And, but I just do know something that's, so take care of you so you can take care of others. And the Lord wants that. I mean, that's what he wants. He wants time with you. So yeah, I guess that was that.
All right. All right. Well, I appreciate you getting on here, Blaire, and thank you for the insight and the well of knowledge that you've given, because it's really good, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, we love you guys.
No.
All right.
Thanks, Blaire, for sitting down with me. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate your words of wisdom to our students and to parents. And I hope that we can all take them to heart and look to see where God is moving us as parents, as we instill these biblical aspects into our children.